Hey Chicago PD fans! Season 9 was a wild ride, and we're sure Season 10 will be crazier. Some characters had it tougher than others though. Hank Voight, the face of the show, has had his share of trials and tribulations. While some fans think the events of Season 9 point to a Voight exit, others want a prequel following his backstory. In this video, we'll talk about all things Chicago PD prequel. First up, fans are dying for a Chicago PD prequel. Season 9 of Chicago PD just came to an end, and Twitter is in a frenzy after that doozy of a finale. In the show, Hank Voight and Haley Upton have been trying to deal with the murder they committed during a rogue investigation. Upton had captured the criminal Walton and tried to get him to tell the truth, but he attacked her and she ended up killing him in self-defense. Voight finds out and tries to help her cover up the murder, but Halstead suspects he might have a hand in the killing too. The two begin looking for ways to clear up their names as well as Upton's, as the FBI is closing in on them. One Chicago fan tweeted about the altercation between Voight and Halstead, and how the older cop asked the younger cop to give him up to stop both Upton and Halstead from going down with him. Some fans assumed this was the show preparing for a Voight exit and begged the creators of the show not to turn this fear into a reality. Other fans went a different route completely and asked the show to consider a prequel series that would focus on Voight's youth and what made him the ruthless cop he is now. One fan said, "Here's something different. How about a Chicago PD prequel series about a young Hank Voight and his early days as a cop?" Interesting. Moving on, Hank Voight, a quick backstory. So what would the Jason Begay starring prequel series be about? What do we know about Voight's backstory, and what would we want to know? Here's a quick recap. Hank Voight, the son of a cop named Richard Voight, grew up in Chicago. Hank wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and become a police officer. But when he was 8, his father died in the line of duty. As an adult, Voight married a woman named Camille, and they were expecting twins, but their daughter was stillborn, leaving them with a son, Justin Voight. Hank did fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming a cop and was partnered with Alvin Olinsky, who became his closest friend. Of course, a lot more happens throughout the course of the show, like shooting Browning and Justin's death. In the prequel, we'd like to see how Hank turned from a boy who wanted to be a police officer like his dad to a brutal cop who wants to get the job done regardless of what rules he breaks and who he hurts. Maybe we could see an 8-year-old Hank dealing with the trauma of his father's death, or a slightly older Voight just starting out as a cop in the Chicago PD. It'd make for a damn good TV series. And now we'd love to see Erin Lindsay feature in a Chicago PD prequel, but it'll probably never happen. Let's talk about a fan favorite character from the earlier seasons, Erin Lindsay, played by the phenomenal Sophia Bush. Erin is a character that's pretty much a must-have for any Voight prequel, and we'd love to her make a comeback in the blast from the past. Erin came from a broken family, with a drug addict for a mother and an abuser for a stepdad. Going through an extremely traumatic childhood and adolescence, she gets involved in the world of crime by 15, before being taken in by Hank Voight himself, who raises her as his own along with Justin. Erin changes her ways and works very hard to become a cop like Voight. Erin would be a great character for a potential prequel because she brings out a side of Voight we rarely ever see. A harsh cop who doesn't care for the law, and often human life, takes her in and guides her, showing that he is more than just a dirty cop. Unfortunately, we don't think Erin will be coming back to Chicago anytime soon. Maybe they could use another actor to play young Erin, but definitely not Bush, because she left the show in season 4 after allegedly being a target of sexual harassment. There's no way she's getting involved with the show again, which is a serious loss for the show. Up next, let's talk about how season 9 was for Voight. Hint, it was no picnic. Voight has been lead of the show since season 1, but his journey in season 9 has made fans more interested in his life than ever, which is why we desperately want to know more and see his past in a prequel series. It definitely was a big and heavy season for old Hank. In this season, we see him trying to take down the violent Los Tosmitos gang. To do this, he seeks the help of Ana Avalos, a former gang member, who gets close to capturing the leader Javier Escano, but Voight lies to her, worrying that his past affiliations with the gang may ruin their plan. Anna finds out Voight has been keeping information from her and goes rogue. The final episode sees Upton and Halstead staking out Escano's men when boom, a huge explosion happens. Halstead survives, but Upton's fate is unknown. Moving on, Anna's dead and someone will pay. If you've watched all of Season 9, you're up to speed with what happens with Voight and Anna, and how it all goes downhill in the finale. Working together, the two become very close, and this father-daughter bond gets in between Voight's relationships with his colleagues. Many warn him about Anna, but he doesn't listen, and it seems that the two have finally found the family they never had, until Anna dies. Fans are stressed about how Voight will react to Anna's death, and more importantly, who will be made to pay. Fans predict that he'll blame both Halstead and Upton for killing Anna, since their arrival led to shots being fired and eventually her death. Some fans are seriously stressed that he'll go into full-blown rage mode and maybe even kill Haley. Others think he'll internalize this incident and blame himself. Whatever the outcome is, we need a prequel to understand where Voight's anger issues come from. Finally, could Voight change his ways in Season 10? While some fans expect Voight to go ballistic, others expect him to change his ways. Now, we don't know if he'll change for better or worse, but after the finale, even Voight himself has to realize he needs to switch things up if he doesn't want more people he cares about dead. Voight has lost many people in his life and through the course of the show, like his partner Arlinsky, his son Justin, and now Anna. He could go around blaming everyone else, but he has to realize there's only one common denominator in this equation. Maybe the case is a wake-up call for him, especially considering how no one was on board and how it was an absolute disaster. Will we get a new and improved Voight next season, or maybe a prequel to explain his old broken ways? And now for some other news. When is the new season of Chicago P.D. going to air? You're probably dying to know what happens next in this show after watching this video. Trust us, you're not alone. We need to know how this whole situation will wrap up, and if Voight will go crazy or change his ways. Twitter is full of fan speculations and predictions, and we need answers to our questions now. Well, you're in luck, because Chicago P.D., along with Chicago Fire and Chicago Med, will air on Wednesday, the 21st of September on NBC. Not too long to go now. Who will be in the cast of Chicago P.D. Season 10? So who's returning to the craziness of Chicago streets in Season 10? Well, if you're attached to the characters of the show, we have good news for you, because the main cast is all returning for another action-packed season. Here's a quick rundown of the actors returning for Season 10. The ensemble includes Jason Begay as Sergeant Henry Hank Voight, Liseth Chavez as Officer Vanessa Rojas, Jesse Lee Soffer as Detective Jay Halstead, and Tracy Spiridakos as Detective Haley Upton. Will Season 10 be the final season of Chicago P.D.? Only a few shows are able to run successfully for so long, and Chicago P.D. has managed to keep us hooked for 9 seasons, and we're already drawn into Season 10. But the question is the show coming to an end following this season? Don't worry guys, it's probably not. P.D. is one of the most consistent shows on NBC, and a star of Dick Wolf's One Chicago universe. We're probably in for a few more seasons with the police officers, and we couldn't be happier. That's a wrap for this video. How badly do you want a prequel series to Chicago P.D.? What would you want the story to be about? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!